So I asked you if you thought it would be a good idea to do a Q&A on my channel, and you said to me, yes. So here it is, questions and answers. Alright guys, I'm Saunders, this is Saunders Says, and today I'm saying Q&A. So I got some really good feedback on the last video saying that Q&As were a good idea to do on the channel, so here I am. And what's going to happen from now on is I'm going to try and do a Q&A every week. But I'm going to mix it up a little bit. It's not always going to be the same. So for example, today I'm going to be doing a Q&A which is reading your questions from the YouTube comments, from Twitter and from Instagram. But next time it's going to be a Snapchat Q&A. So what it will be you on a video asking your questions, cutting to me here answering them. Let me know if you think that's a good idea. I'm keen to do it, but as always, I want to know what you think. Your questions have come in their tens, if not hundreds, which I'm really grateful for, so thank you very much. And it means that we can keep doing these Q&As, and because I'm going to try and do one every week in the two different styles, it means I can answer more of your questions, so it's great. Right, so first question, this is very exciting. It's from Oscar Beeman. He said, Saunders, what made you start YouTube, and did your brother have a part in you starting YouTube? So what made me start YouTube is quite a good question, because what it comes down to is, as I said in the last video where I've been behind the camera most of the time, that's sort of taken me, that shooting and editing and a little bit of writing as well, has taken me into some really cool places and done some amazing things. So while I'm doing that stuff, I'm thinking, I'd love to have a way to share this. I'd love to have a way that I could package this together in a video that I could look back at it later in life and think, oh, I remember I did that, and kind of have the highlight reel. It's sort of like, you know, at the end of a Big Brother where a contestant gets their sort of like best bits, like the best bit of the things that I do. It'd be a really good way to watch it back. But then I thought, if I'm making that for myself and for my friends, maybe there's people out there on the internet that could be interested. So I thought, make a YouTube channel, start vlogging about what I'm doing, and maybe people would be interested. And it seems like you guys are, so that's great. Did your brother have a part in starting my YouTube? Then he definitely did, 100%. So Spencer has given me pretty much all of the willpower, the knowledge, and the sort of drive to get this channel off the ground and to keep doing it and keep like posting videos and keeping up the content and stuff like that. So I really can't thank him enough, as well as the massive push of people that he pushed my way so you guys could find me. So I'm very, very grateful. So K Baldor has said, besides Spen, who's your favourite YouTuber? So my answer to this is the same as Spencer's when he was asked this question, his last Q&A, and that is Casey Neistat. He turns every single day into a little story, and it's always really nicely shot, and it just makes New York and America and everywhere he goes look amazing, so you've got to love it for that. Also, I think, quite honestly, there isn't really anyone within that community that I'd like to meet with or work with more than Casey Neistat. He just seems like such a legend, doesn't he? Do you not think? He's just such a legend. Aside from that, back in the day, I used to watch things like Epic Mealtime and Freddie Wong and Corridor Digital, because I was really into like crazy effects and when people turn video games into like real life action footage. I always thought that was really cool, so I like those guys, but I kind of like vloggers a bit more now, so I'm watching people like that. One of my favourite at the moment is a good friend of mine, that's Jack Mate. Jack Owen Reese said, who's the best at football out of you and your two brothers? Good question, and I'm fairly confident to say this, and I think Spencer Seb would agree with me that I am probably the best at football out of the three of us. That's not true, I'm definitely the worst. Antog_1996 asked, what's your most memorable moment? So my most memorable moment is something that I shared with my mate Ollie, and it's actually only last year, or maybe a year before last when it started. So together we came up with this idea to sort of video blog travelling. So it'd be like a live video blogging tour across Southeast Asia. So we came up with this plan, pitched it to a few companies, 2 travel companies. A lot of them didn't even reply to us, but one did. It was gapyear.com. And they went with it. So we spent 3 months in Southeast Asia travelling around and making video blogs of it, and we called it #SO Saunders Ollie Travel. And they're all on YouTube on gapyear.com, so feel free to check them out. I'll put a link in the description so you can watch them. But that's probably my most memorable moment, is getting that off the ground. So the moment that company were like, yes, go and do it, we were just like, oh my god, I can't believe you said yes, that's amazing. And we did it. Sam Adams 992 said, would your younger self be proud of what you've achieved? I think so. I mean, when I was younger, I didn't really have that much confidence or self-esteem really, so I wouldn't even dream about doing stuff like this. So I'd do one of two things. I'd look up and be like, good on you, pal, you've done well. I'd be like, get back in your room, be quiet, get your guitar out, do something else. Right, this is a good one. Someone's challenged me to try and say their name because it's kind of interestingly spelled and it's got a bit of punctuation marks in it, right? So I've done this before. Someone tested me in a nightclub once with a name that has umlauts in it, which is the little German double dot thing, like this one does. So I'm going to give it a go, right? Juho Makla. Let me know if that's right. Okay, 00Tom00 said, if you had the chance to film a YouTube video in space, would you? Abso-bloody-lutely. Who wouldn't? I'd be like, George, Sandra, get in the YouTube rocket, we're going to the moon. Valdeveris has got a couple of good questions that all link together. It says, first of all, your favourite country of all the ones I've visited, and how many countries have I visited? So in total, I added this up after I came back from travelling in Asia last year. I was in the airport and I thought I'm going to add up all the countries and do like a list because I wanted to try and do 30 before 30. And I think at the time I was on 26. I'm now on 32. So I'm not even 30 yet. I've got another 7 years before I'm 30. Almost 6 years. But I've done 32 already. So maybe I should do 40 before 40 or something. Or maybe 40 before 30. But yeah, so 30. I've done 32 countries. And my favourite of all of them is Vietnam. So a lot of questions came in about football, and with these Q&As I didn't particularly want to do too much about football because Spencer has that nailed, you know, he's got the football stuff, and I'm sure maybe I'll go on his channel one day and we'll talk about football there, and I talk about football on the Football Public, so this one's going to be more about like, travel and vlogging and stuff like that. But there is one question that so many of you have asked that I feel like I probably should answer it, and that is, who is my favourite West Ham player? Before the season started, I would have said Aaron Cresswell, because he was solid last year, he performed over and over again last year, Hammer of the Year, and I like the cut of his jib. But now, I don't think I'm left with any option than to say Dimitri Payet. So the last question is from Joe/the Simon, and this came through literally the moment I started recording, so it's the last question I read, and he asked, a bit weird, would you rather inject salt and vinegar into a deep wound or put a toothpick in your toenail and kick a door? Now, I'll be honest, mate, that's weird, and they both sound horrendous. But I've got to pick one because you asked it. So, I mean, I don't really like toenails. I've got this weird thing about toenails and the way they come off and stuff. So I think I'll have to go salt and vinegar into a deep wound. So that's my first Q&A done. Thank you very much for all the questions. Let me know in the comments what you thought, if there's any ways you reckon I can improve it, and also what you think of the Snapchat idea. Hopefully you'll like that. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Snapchat so you can keep up to date with all the other things that are going on, especially Snapchat because that's going to be essential in the other style of Q&A. So get that done. All the links are here. Enjoy them. So that's it, first Q&A video over. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, tell your friends, and don't forget, Saunders says, subscribe. We're about to do a skydive, aren't we, mate?
We are indeed.
We're all kitted up, top to bottom. We're getting taken to the plane now, final little safety instructions, and then we're off. Hold the phone. Did I just say that I was going to do a skydive? Yes, I did, and I bloody did it, and it was amazing.